These robbers messed up in the most hilarious way possible. From ATM mishaps to sleeping beauties and doorbell lickers, these are the most hilarious robbers out there. Grab a bag of popcorn and get ready for some hearty laughs as we dive in with our first entry.
Please.
Number 1. Failed ATM robbery in Australia. Ever thought about nabbing that ever-giving ATM that spits out cash whenever we need it? Bad idea. An Aussie bloke learned this the hard way, finding out firsthand that a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. Queensland police surveillance footage of this fella trying to heist an ATM from a store in Townsville. His genius plan was to smash through the door and hook up a chain from his truck to the ATM. Well, his master plan fell apart faster than a house of cards. The chain snapped almost immediately. After a speedy getaway, he tried again, only to find the chains were too far apart to reconnect. In the end, this would-be thief took off empty-handed, leaving behind hilarious footage. Number 2. Doorbell licker. Using locks might scare off some thieves, but technology like video doorbells is way better at catching creepy culprits red-handed. Just ask the family in Salinas, California, whose doorbell got a 3-hour tongue lashing from a weirdo on New Year's Eve. The crazy scene went down like this. While the parents were out, this bold-as-brass dude showed up at their doorstep with only the kids home. He then went full psycho, smooching and slobbering all over their doorbell as it owed him money. The whole nutty affair was caught in glorious detail by the family's security camera. When the homeowners checked the footage, they got an eyeful of this guy's the-hour makeout session with their doorbell. He took short breaks, but always came back for more, staring creepily at the camera like he was auditioning for a horror flick. The family wasted no time and dialed up the cops, who quickly ID'd the suspect as Roberto Daniel Arroyo. Why he was so fixated on their doorbell remains a mystery, but his determination to tick that box on his bucket list left the homeowners freaked out. Number 3. Ignored. This robber was shot down not with bullets, so this aspiring thug walked into the store, gun in hand, shouting for everyone to get down. A solid plan is 10 out of 10, only no one cared. All the people just ignored the robber, not really giving him any attention. Now that has to be a huge blow to your ego. The dude got ignored with a gun in hand and making threats. He just kind-fo stood there stunned for a bit, then walked out, probably hanging his thug coat up for good. Number 4. The wannabe thief. In a store in England, the owners had a brush with an aspiring thief who got more than he bargained for. Surveillance footage captured what seemed like an everyday customer browsing through a phone market in West Yorkshire, UK. The hooded man casually picked up 2 phones to compare, then bolted for the exit, only to discover it was locked from the inside. He awkwardly returned the phones to the counter, mumbling excuses. Behind the counter, the 2 men remained as cool as cucumbers. Shop owner Afzal Adam not only let the failed thief off the hook, but also took to Twitter, throwing down the gauntlet. In a sassy post, he wrote, "Hey, almost robber, if times are tough and you need a hand, swing by the store and let's chat. We're here to help put food on your table too." Adam attributed his generous response to his Muslim faith, which taught him compassion and forgiveness. He turned what could have been a tense standoff into a light-hearted invitation, showing the world that even in the face of crime, there's room for a bit of humor and humanity. Number 5. The phone thief. When funds are tight, some people resort to desperate measures, but one hapless shoplifter took foolishness to a whole new level. His attempt to steal a display model ended in utter humiliation, all thanks to a tiny detail he overlooked. The surveillance footage is pure comedy gold. This wannabe thief struts into a phone retailer, eyeing the flashy demo phones like they're solid gold. He waits for the perfect moment when the staff are distracted, then makes his move. With the grace of a bull in a china shop, he grabs a phone and tries to make a run for it. But here's the kicker. Those sturdy security cables weren't just for show. The moment he tugs, the retractable cord snaps the phone right out of his hand, sending it crashing to the ground. Instead of a slick escape, this bumbling burglar is left standing empty-handed, staring at the shattered remnants of his grand scheme. The store clerk can only watch in disbelief as the thief freezes in embarrassment, his audacious phone heist foiled by nothing more than a short security leash. The failed thief, red-faced and defeated, retreats as onlookers shake their heads. Number 6. A shopper as disguise. An effective disguise is crucial when you're planning a stick-up, but clearly not everyone got the memo. Meet this guy who thought a plastic bag would be the perfect disguise for robbing a GameStop in St. Mary's, Georgia. But this wasn't just any plastic bag. This robber went for the extra stealthy look with a transparent plastic bottle bag. I guess he thought it would make him look like the Invisible Man. Well, needless to say, things didn't quite go according to plan. The police had a good laugh about it. On top of that, our criminal even left his fingerprint marks all over, not to mention how he several times lifts his already transparent bag to better see. Maybe next time, he'll opt for something a bit less see-through. Number 7. Mexican cowboy comes to the rescue. The lesson of the day: always scope out your targets before pulling a heist. This cocky would-be robber learned that the hard way when he sauntered up to the cash register and whipped out his gun. But little did he know, he picked the wrong store to mess with. Standing tall in front of the register is a dude rocking a cowboy hat who, at just the right moment, sees his chance and springs into action. With lightning speed, he lunges forward, tackling the startled robber and sending his gun clattering to the floor. In the chaos, the gun is snatched up by another quick-thinking employee, now shirtless because, why not, the would-be thief makes a run for the door, thinking he's got a shot at freedom. But just when he thought he was home free, fate had other plans. One of the staffers, channeling their inner superhero, pulls off a move straight out of an action movie, tripping up the fleeing culprit and bringing his grand escape crashing down. Number 8. Locked in shop. There's probably no better representation of the 5 stages of grief than this hilarious surveillance footage from a cell phone store in Houston, Texas on April 17th.
Hey!
Open it. Open it now.
No.
Open it.
No.
Open it.
2017. John Bell, armed and confident, strutted in and demanded cash from an employee. But when she refused, she bolted out with 2 customers, locking Bell inside like a caged animal. First came denial as John fiddled with the lock, hoping for a miracle. Then anger took over. He shot at the lock and kicked the door like it owed him money. When that failed, he moved to bargaining, dropping to his knees and praying for divine intervention. Depression quickly set in as he slumped to the floor, realizing he was well and truly stuck. That all the stages of grief for you.
Get your hands up! On the ground! On the ground! On the ground! On the ground!
Number 9. Jumping off the window. Let's take a trip to Jamesville, Wisconsin, where a teenager made a Hollywood-style escape. It's October 2018. 17-year-old Quantrill Schwartzlow finds himself in a tight spot, accused of a serious crime. After getting nabbed and hauled off to the Rock County Sheriff's Office, things got real wild. Left alone in the interrogation room, Schwartzlow decides to pull a Houdini straight out the window. Security cameras catch him in handcuffs, taking a flying leap to freedom. When the deputy returns just 15 minutes later, they find the room empty and hit the panic button. Backup is called in and a full-scale manhunt is on. Hours later, deputies finally catch up with him, chilling at a buddy's pad. Schwarzlow's brief taste of freedom was cut short when he got slapped with escape charges. The judge threw the book at him. 4 years locked up, plus another 4 years on a tight leash. After this escapade, the Rock County Sheriff's Department isn't taking any chances. They slapped security screens in the interrogation room, making sure no one else tried to pull off a disappearing act. Number 10. Pour, drink, get cash. One might think this guy was on a mission to launch the Quench the Thirst of ATMs campaign. This Chinese man strolled up to an ATM, where people usually deposit and withdraw cash, inserted his card, and then poured a drink into the machine. Not stopping there, the dude hit up 2 more ATMs at different banks, thinking this would somehow make them rain money. Who told him that would work?
Can use this ATM to both withdraw and deposit money.
I mean, seriously? Of course, this genius move didn't go unnoticed. Surveillance cameras at all 3 banks caught the criminal in the act, and the cops were on his tail faster than you can say, dumb criminal. Predictably, the investigation didn't take long. The police tracked down the culprit and hauled him in. But here's the kicker. Besides being broke, and clearly not the sharpest tool in the shed, the dude managed to land himself in even hotter water, literally. The 3 ATMs were soaked with water and drinks, causing a whopping $22,000 in damages. Where's he gonna pull that kind of cash from? Needless to say, this little experiment didn't exactly pan out. Now, he's staring down the barrel of one epic regret. Number 11, Optimus Prime at Starbucks. Meet Craig Starbucks savior Jerry 58 chilling with his brew at the Golden State near Herndon and Highway 99 in Fresno around 5:30 on a Thursday evening. Out of the blue, a dude in an Optimus Prime Transformers mask storms in with a yellow bag, threatening the clerk with a fake gun and then a buck knife, demanding cash. Turns out this dude is Ryan Michael Flores, 30. Little did Flores know, Jerry decided to be a total boss. Armed with a chair, Jerry smacks Flores from behind, kicking off a real WWE-style smackdown. Even after taking a stab to the neck, Jerry doesn't flinch, disarms Flores, and goes ham, giving him a taste of his own medicine with multiple stabs. Flores bolts, but gets nabbed by the cops later. The video of the brawl's gone viral, and Jerry's the local hero. Still, the cops are like, don't try this at home, folks. It could have gone bad really fast. Thankfully, no one's 6 feet under this time, but it was touch and go. Number 12, the Inchworm Bandits. Houston, we have a crawling crisis. Meet the Inchworm Bandits, a trio of burglars who made headlines for their low-down, sneaky antics at Piggy's Kitchen and Bar back in November 2018. Picture this, 3 grown adults creeping along the floor like Rihanna's backup dancers from her Super Bowl performance. Except these guys were on a mission to steal, not groove. Their target, the tip money, totaling a measly $450, was meant for hard-working servers who busted their ass over the weekend. But the Inchworm Bandits didn't stop there. They left a trail of destruction in their wake, racking up a cool $2,000 in damages. The security footage of their bizarre crawl fest had everyone scratching their heads, prompting the cops to wonder if these masterminds were behind a similar caper at a pizzeria the week before. Sure, their crawling technique might have elicited a chuckle or two, but let's not forget the seriousness of their crime. It's a strange mix of commendable commitment and downright ridiculousness. Here's hoping these human inchworms were swiftly caught and brought to justice. Number 13. A pretty tough glass. In 2015, a video surfaced on the internet that turned one would-be thief into a laughing stock across China. This genius came up with the brilliant idea of robbing a nearby bank, assuming its security was as lax as a back-alley lemonade stand. Little did he know, the bank had some seriously strong glass. Think Captain America's shield level strong. So our hapless thief strolls up to the cash counters and starts demanding a ransom. Inside, the female staff were scared out of their wits, but instead of a sophisticated weapon, this guy brought along a humble hammer. Yep, a hammer. He then proceeds to channel his inner Thor and starts whacking away at the glass. To his utter dismay, the glass doesn't even flinch. For a good 5 to 10 minutes, he's there, smashing away, while the glass stands its ground like a champ. Just when he finally manages to make a tiny dent and is about to grab the cash, his dreams come crashing down. Literally. A cop rushes in and corners him. Poor guy didn't even get a whiff of those bucks. Instead, he got a one-way ticket to jail and internet infamy, proving once again that some heists are just not meant to be. Number 14. Father and son team up to beat the thief. These two wannabe robbers must have picked their heist strategy from a cartoon, because their attempt at a quick cash grab on July 18th, 2017 at the ZCOM cell phone store in Arlington, Texas was a comedy of errors. Huru Manga, the store owner, and his son were ready to play superhero and give these clowns the smackdown they deserved. My son jumped in, I just followed him. Something going to happen for both of us, Manga said, recalling the chaos with a hint of pride. The circus began when one of the bumbling thieves brandished his gun and vaulted over the counter like a wannabe action star, only to be body slammed by Manga's son. Not one to miss out on the action, Manga jumped into the melee, and together they pinned the hapless bandit to the floor. Meanwhile, the second crook, clearly not the brains of the operation, pulled out his gun but chickened out of using it. Instead, he hightailed it out of the store faster than a cat on a hot tin roof. Despite their tag team heroics, Manga and his son couldn't keep a grip on the slippery desperados and both managed to scamper away. In the end, these bungling bandits ended up looking like the biggest fools in Texas, proving that sometimes the good guys don't just win, they do it with style and a whole lot of guts. Number 15. Smashing car into police station. In New Jersey, a suspect had quite the tale to tell officers after crashing into the police station. Meet John, Crash Bandicoot Hargraves, 34, caught on camera driving straight into police headquarters. As the officers approach, Hargraves throws his hands in the air, seemingly rocking out to Welcome to the Jungle by Guns N' Roses. But that's not the only place Hargraves decided to test his driving skills. On September 20th, 2023, he also rammed his car into the garage door of a nearby home. Turns out the home belongs to a woman Hargraves claims hypnotized him last year. His next logical step? According to prosecutors, he figured he was going to jail anyway, so why not drive himself straight to the police station? Thankfully, no one was hurt in either crash. John Hargraves now faces charges of burglary, criminal mischief, and a weapons count. Number 16. Stealing flat screens. In 13 seconds. It only took this lady a mere 13 seconds to pull off the heist of a flat-screen TV from an appliance store in Costa Rica. 13 seconds. Let's talk about her incredible technique. She picked up the TV and placed it between her legs. Then, the other lady checked to make sure it was in the right place. Somehow, our thief here managed to walk with the TV between her legs so smoothly that it ticked no one off. If she and her partner ever get caught, the police should definitely ask them for tips. It's not every day you see such a smart shoplifter in action. Number 17. Jelly hands. This robber had the worst group ever. He confidently walked into the store, ready to do some robbing. Like a pro, he pulls out a gun, tries to aim it, and then magnificently throws it over the counter by accident. Imagine messing up that bad. The counter lady backs up in fear, but upon realizing how badly this dude has fumbled, she just stands there in shock. The robber, meanwhile, tries to jump over the counter but fails at that too. At least he can run well. Number 18. First time into the robberies. In a banking hall in Karachi, Pakistan, a scene straight out of a slapstick comedy happened during a daring robbery attempt. The assailant casually saunters up to the teller, looking like he's about to deposit a stack of Monopoly money, but on closer inspection, there's something suspicious about his demeanor. Suddenly, he whips out his gun and starts playing with it like a nervous magician pulling a rabbit out of a hat, causing everyone else in the hall to scatter like cats. Left alone in the awkward silence, our ambitious robber faces down the sturdiest security glass known to man, which he eventually manages to pull down with all the grace of a bull in a china shop. But here's where the comedy gold really shines. As he vaults over the counter to grab the cash, he forgets his gun, only realizing his mistake after he's already halfway down the street. You've got to hand it to the guy. At least he pulled off his heist in a Three Stooges kind of way. That wraps up our list of the 20 dumbest criminals. If you enjoyed these wild stories, smash Smash that like button, share with your friends, and subscribe for more jaw-dropping antics. Do let us know in the comments which one of these failed robberies was your favorite. We would love to hear your thoughts. Stay safe out there, and remember, don't do anything these guys did.